Hola amigos de Wine News TV, les invito a conectar conmigo y con mis invitados en Wine News TV On The Go, un podcast que a su vez es un espacio donde aprenderás sobre el mágico mundo del vino a través de invitados de todas partes del mundo que nos contarán sobre sus proyectos para obsequiarnos de forma embotellada música, fuego y leones, como decía el gran maestro argentino Jorge Luis Borges en su poema Soneto al Vino.
All right, so we're back, and I have Silas Rushstone from Ramey. Ramey, I had the honor, the privilege to interview Mr. David Ramey himself. As you may recall, some of you who have been following me for a bit, we had the lovely experience of interviewing him during the pandemic. My God, what a horrible time for the world. But now we are hopefully entering into a better era. Ramey, to me, the best Chardonnay producer in the United States. I say this having had the pleasure of drinking these wines for more than a decade, more than 15 years now. These wines are available in Puerto Rico, as you know, with Plaza Cellars, and you can get them at Boutique Duvan. And they also make amazing Cabernet, Pinot Noir, and Syrah. David Ramey is the guy who makes everything excellent. Thank you so much, Silas, for being here. You just told me that today you got some good news regarding the Chardonnay. Can you share that?
I can. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time and taking these wines out to the public and exposing them. We just found out that the 22 Russian River Chardonnay is in the top 10 for the Wine Spectator and the top 100.
That's big. And you got word today?
Yeah, it just
All
came
right,
out
so
today.
let's toast to that.
Yeah.
My God, this deserves a separate tasting, doing a one wine 1 minute. Oh my God, what a lovely nose. I mean, David gets this lovely tension where you get that generous fruit that speaks of the California sun, but he always tries to pay a little homage to Burgundy, a little bit of a right?
Absolutely.
A little bit of a tribute, if you will. What a gorgeous wine.
Yeah, he calls it Neo-Burgundian.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Neo-Burgundian, yeah.
Burgundian methods, but with California fruit. And so, we take the best of both worlds.
I love it because it has this lovely acidity on the palate, a nose that it's rich, but it's not overly pornographic. Pardon my expression. This is my show. I have the license. There are certain wines, that are pornographic, that smells like going to the movies and smelling popcorn with butter, caramel. This is fruit, bright fruit, clean fruit, and then you have the minerality. Oh my God, what a gorgeous! But you do have that whiff, that little touch, that little hint of spice. Just a tiny bit, right? It's like a little bit of putting a dollop of makeup on a very beautiful woman, right?
Exactly, and that's David often says that a winemaker uses oak barrels the way a chef uses salt and pepper. It's
Exactly.
the seasoning, it's the spice.
Exactly. David is a master. David, if you're listening to this, congratulations on getting, again, because I don't know how many times you've been on that top 100, top 10 list, many times. Like David Ramey is like Paul McCartney of wine. Like he's always there, the name, right? He's always achieving things. Congratulations, David. Well deserved. What a gorgeous wine. And something that I told David in the interview, pardon, my English is not my first language. I'm translating as I speak. But to me, one of the amazing things about Ramey, and I'm going to give kudos to Plaza Cellars, is that despite the quality, despite the track record, you've kept your wines at reasonable prices. At least those, not entry, because nothing is entry level at Ramey, but you can still find Ramey wines for $50, $55, $60 that are world-class quality, and competitors that maybe sprung out 8-10 years ago now have wines that are in the $200, $300 range. This is a spectacular bottle of Chardonnay. How much does this cost at a store in the States? in Florida. You carry that market.
Around $50.
It's just that's stupid.
Yeah, and it's not far off from when I started with David 15 years ago. As you said,
That's unbelievable.
David's philosophy, and I believe in this, and his children, Claire and Alan, have taken over as the owners of the winery, and David's still involved in the day-to-day operations as Carla is, but they have the same mentality, the same vision, and we don't make cheap wine, but we have to be of value at every price point.
Never, please. What are the names of David's kids?
Claire and Alan.
Claire and Alan, please, always keep that philosophy, because what makes Ramey marvelous is that despite being a spectacular wine, it's made for not necessarily, people can buy this to drink every day, but I think this is a wine that millionaires can drink like everyday wine and still will beat wines that are cost 3-4 times the price. But this is a wine that maybe once a month a blue-collar worker can give him or herself a treat and buy a Ramey wine. This is a spectacular wine. Tell me a little bit about, because I've talked more than you. I am very stoked with this interview. Tell me about Ramey, David Ramey, and the winery.
So we're located in Healdsburg, in Sonoma. David has made wine, as he likes to say, he made an awful lot of money for people who had an awful lot of money before kind of doing his own thing. But he worked for the Moex family 3 times, twice in Pomerol and then at Dominus. And so the times in Pomerol gave him the Neo-Burgundian side. So like in Chardonnay, this would be a village level wine. And then we do the single vineyards, which would be like the Premier Cru. So we follow that Burgundian model. We love to see people, consumers. It's by appointment only in Healdsburg. So if any of your listeners get out to Sonoma, just check on the website, and we'll get you taken care of with a really nice tasting. We can do library wines. We can do, if you want to do just Chardonnays, we can do that.
I have to come visit you guys. I'll make it my first stop when I go to California. Ramey, I've been in love with this wine since I started doing wine content. Actually, my teacher, I saw her yesterday, is Marijo Cifre, great educator from Boutique Duvan. And in 2006, I took a class with her, and I got hooked. And I've been loving Ramey for 15 years now. And I've never had a bad, that some winemakers or some wineries specialize in certain grapes or certain varietals.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've had from Ramey is spectacular. Spectacular.
David, his view, I know the story, and I think this tells a lot about him. We kind of fell in love with California Syrah over the same bottle. And he wasn't going to make Syrah, even though it's his favorite grape. But he felt like you could not compete with or compare to, Chave Hermitage, Clap Cornas, right, what's coming out of Northern Rhone. But then Aaron Jordan made a Nair Syrah one year, mm-hmm, and he tasted it and went, wow, you really can make amazing Syrah. And that prompted him.
From Nair's, the Bruce Nair's,
yes,
Nair's? Okay,
exactly. Yeah. And so we found a vineyard, got some Syrah planted, some Viognier planted, so that we could do a co-ferment. And but that's always been his philosophy: is if you can't make that world-class wine,
don't make it.
Yeah, don't.
I remember that Syrah was so peppery. It had this cured meat notes. It was lovely. I had it blind, and I thought it was Hermitage. I thought it was French. It was spectacular. Lovely, lovely wine. So now we're going to get into the Annum Cabernet Sauvignon, another wine that I've been loving and collecting for a number of years. My only son, was born in 2013, so I went crazy and I bought like 12 bottles of different wines from that vintage, which was a great vintage in California, Napa. So I got some Ramey that's sleeping in my cellar, so that eventually, when my kid is of age, I can have a bottle with him of his birth year. That's cool, right?
That's awesome.
Right. Tell me about this one.
So Annum, we do 4 Cabernet-based blends. The Claret, Napa Cabernet, Annum, and Pedregal Vineyard. So this is on the premium side, but it's it's a bit of an atypical wine for us because just about everything else we do village level, with the base tier, and then the premium wine is always a single vineyard. This is a blending of vineyard sites, but it's premium vineyard sites. So it really gives David the chance to buy expensive grapes and play with them.
Lovely. And this is how much Cabernet Sauvignon?
This particular vintage, which is the 15, I believe.
Yeah, it's 15. It's 9 years old, and it feels so fresh, so elegant. This is going to evolve and get better at a glacial pace. This is currant thick pace. You have the minty menthol notes. You have cassis. Come on, currant pace. What a gorgeous wine! My God, this is what 150 States.
Between 100 and 125.
Really?
Yeah.
My God. A lovely wine. So it's Cabernet Sauvignon mostly,
and Cabernet Franc.
And Cabernet Franc. That's where you get that pepper. Oh my God.
Yeah, you get the pepper, you get the florals, you get, to me,
the roasted pepper. Yeah. God, what a gorgeous bottle of wine, the Annum from Ramey. It really, really marvels me that you can get these 2 bottles of wine made by a Jedi master for under $200. Like if you add the price of the Chard and the Cabernet Sauvignon, you can have an amazing dinner. Let's say you have 2 couples, 4 people. 2 bottles is fine. To me, it's too little. You catch my drift, right?
David would agree with you.
Yeah, but most normal, sane people would have a bottle each. But you could have a world-class dinner with world-class wines for under $200 for both bottles. This is gorgeous at 9 years of age. These have been 2 of my finds from the Plaza Cellars Fine Wine Celebration of 2024. They're both marvelous, unbelievable. The Annum is at a stage of its life that is just incredible. What are you guys making at Ramey aside from this 2? You have Hyde in Chardonnay.
So on the single vineyards, so we do 2 in the Appalachian tier, the Russian River Valley, and then we do a Fort Ross Seaview or Sonoma Coast,
right?
Which is all Martinelli Charles Ranch fruit. Then we also are starting to do a Charles Ranch single vineyard.
Oh, really?
That hasn't been released out into the marketplace
yet.
I
haven't had it, obviously.
Yeah. So we do the Ritchie, the Hyde, Rocchioli.
Rocchioli, of course.
Yeah, and then the Woolsey Road, which is also a Martinelli property. And that one's an interesting one because they planted that vineyard for us with cuttings that propagate back to Hyde.
Oh, my God.
So it's all Old Winty selection, but grown in a different climate, different soil type, different exposure, and younger vines.
You make also Pinot from Rocchioli Vineyard?
Well, you're taking the cloak off, pulling the curtain back. This year we had our first opportunity to buy fruit from Pinot Noir from the Rocciolis.
Of course.
So it'll be another couple of years before it
Tell
gets released.
David, and I'm telling this to you, I can be a pro bono, no payment Ramey ambassador in Puerto Rico. Trust me. This is a relationship that dates back to around the same time I met my then girlfriend, now wife, and I've been loving Ramey more than I've loved my wife. I'm just kidding. I'm going to get into some hot water. I love you, baby. You know that. I love these wines. These are just spectacular wines. When I saw you in the roster, I'm going to do 25 interviews, and I've done more than 800 in my life. And to me, Ramey is something that's Michael Jordan, Lionel Messi, Tom Brady. I mean, it's right up there, man.
Well, like I said, it just shows what good taste you have.
Thank you. Gorgeous wines. To wrap up, so that people can find other Ramey labels and products. I have an audience in more than 60 countries. Do you know in how many countries Ramey is present in the world?
Currently, it's over 40.
40, okay. Yeah.
Predominantly a little bit in Asia, Europe, the Caribbean, and not a lot in South America.
Yeah, of course. The tariffs and the taxes and whatnot. So you got lots of different Chardonnay single vineyards, Pinots, Cabernet, and Syrah. That's it. That's okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not lost and that there's nothing new that I haven't had, because I am sure that even tap water at that house tastes complex and good. David Ramey's pool tastes better than some wines that you can get out there. Thank you, Silas. Thank you so much for this. Mi gente, qué vinos espectaculares los de Ramey. Me he emocionado porque quiero mucho estos vinos. Tuve la oportunidad de hablar con el señor David Ramey durante la pandemia. No lo he conocido personalmente. Cuando eso se dé, le voy a dar un abrazo, me voy a arrodillar y le voy a decir gracias, maestro. Es un Jedi Master. A sus hijos, espero que puedan seguir con el legado de su padre y producir unos vinos de clase mundial, que todavía se encuentran en precios muy razonables, los vinos de entrada por lo menos. Por favor, restaurantes, hoteles, consumidores, coleccionistas que me escuchan, prueben y compren a ciegas los vinos de Ramey. Están deliciosos ahora y con el paso del tiempo se van a poner mejor. Son vinos espectaculares. Thank you, Silas. These wines are rocking my world every time. Cheers, my friend.
Thank you. Cheers.
Será hasta la próxima. Seguimos informando aquí desde el Fine Wine Cellars de Plaza Cellars.
Este fue el episodio de hoy. Recuerda dejarnos una reseña para que nos ayudes a crecer, suscribirte y recomendarnos con tus amigos amantes del vino. No importa cuán avanzado estés en el recorrido de enamorarte de aquello que decían sobre el vino. Son uvas transformadas en poesía. Aquí hay espacio para todos. Salud y como siempre, dale share.